Hey everybody, my name is Reza Pourmand, and I'm a senior here at Winston Churchill High School. I'm excited to be able to talk to you all about something that I think most of us as high school students can relate to. How fast high school goes and the importance of living in the moment. Have you ever noticed how time creeps up on you? One day you're in class, waiting for the tickless clock, wondering when the last day of school will finally come. And then suddenly you realize you're almost there, at the end. You've had your last first day of school, and now everything feels like a countdown. But for many seniors, that countdown isn't towards graduation. Instead, it's a countdown towards the many deadlines that seem to shape our entire future. The looming dates of college applications, essays, and recommendation letters. The summer break we once took refuge in, it instead turns into another form of school, where every hour is spent drafting essays, polishing resumes, and managing endless activities just to stay competitive. In fact, in a poll from earlier this year, approximately 89% of high school seniors report feeling moderate to severe anxiety towards college applications. This number doesn't just reflect stress, it reveals the massive burden placed upon students on what is supposed to be the ending chapter to what ultimately shaped them. And it's not even about the tasks themselves. The constant pressure to perform up to Ivy League level standards, perfect grades, emotionally raw and flawless essays, and amazing extracurriculars, knowing that only a tiny fraction will ever make it. And yet, day after day, we push ourselves to reach that standard. But in the process, we sacrifice our physical and mental health. Getting 8 hours of sleep becomes a luxury. Stress always lingers. And even doing the things that we have genuine passion for turn into items on a checklist. Now, even when we do achieve those goals, the sense of accomplishment is often temporary. Satisfaction lasts for a few days, maybe even hours, before the next deadline takes its place. This idea is known as the arrival fallacy. The idea that external goals brings lasting happiness when, in reality, the sense of accomplishment is often temporary and replaced by search for another milestone. But this stress isn't just reserved for high school seniors. I want you all to think about the overburdened adult working a 9 to 5, constantly trying to achieve perfection for a simple raise. Similarly, the doctors, overburdened by their shifts, racing to meet with all their patients and to complete all their paperwork and research. Even college students, balancing between their internships and final exams, worrying about the job market before they even walk down the graduation stage to get their diploma. The pressure never ends. It changes forms. But because of this constant pressure and overwhelming work, we fall into the trap of existing. Specifically, we adopt a just get to Friday mentality, where we rush from one deadline to another just to get to the finish line. We fill our days and free times with endless tasks, studying for the next test, volunteering, and studying for the next standardized exam, believing that overproductivity is the only method to success. However, here's the problem. In our pursuit of achievement, we lose sight of the moments that matter the most. Friendships, mentors, and even the simple joys of doing the things we enjoy become tasks that sidetrack us from our goals. Although overproductivity brings us success in the short term, it robs us of satisfaction, happiness, and reflection. Qualities that ultimately make us human. This is the difference between existing and living. Existing is what we do on a daily basis, moving from task to task, deadline to deadline, and barely paying attention to the world around us. Living, on the other hand, is actually being aware and conscious of what's happening and doing the things we love. It's engaging with experiences, people, and making moments that make life worth it, not just viewing it as multiple steps to our end goal of success. The arrival fallacy shows us why this matters. Even when we achieve a goal that we've been striving for, the sense of accomplishment is often temporary. Not having the ability to pause and reflect risks us with continuously filling our lives with achievements, but missing the experiences that make those achievements worth it. Balance doesn't mean giving up on ambition or not setting goals that don't push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Setting goals that pushes yourself outside of your comfort zone effectively helps us to grow. So ambition isn't the problem itself. It's when we let our lives be dictated by accomplishments and deadlines. For example, I used to hate walking. I thought it was pretty boring, and I wouldn't get the same satisfaction I would when I played sports. But after one day where my friend forced me to go and watch the sunset with him, I've been trying to go every single week in my neighborhood and see that same sunset again. In addition, walking gives me the ability to get a window outside of constant achievements and deadlines and helps me to relax. But walking isn't the only way to start living more. Anything that makes you pause and feel connected to something outside of constant achievement can shift you from simply existing to truly living. For some, it might be putting your phone down, engaging with the people around you. For others, it might be picking up a simple hobby that doesn't have any sort of resume points, trophy, or grades, such as walking, reading, or even cooking. This is where the difference between existing and living comes in. Existing is when we let life fly on autopilot, waking up to a new day of opportunities and memory makings, just to check off a box of tasks, waiting for the weekend and waiting for the next deadline. Living, on the other hand, is choosing to make memories and going beyond and to actually live. It's not about just waiting for the next moment. It's about loving what we do. So time will always creep up on us. That's something that we can't control. One day you're in class, waiting for the last bell to ring, and then suddenly you're counting down the last weeks of school. But what we can do until then is how we define the slowly creeping time. So either we can exist and then question into the future where our time really went, or we can live, engaging with people and making memories that made it worth it. So here's my challenge to you all. Find your own version of the sunset. Something small that makes you laugh. Something that makes you appreciate life more. But more importantly, something that makes you feel that you have truly lived. Because when you look back moments from now, those are the moments that matter the most. Not the GPA or SAT score you had, but the moments where you felt you had truly lived. Thank you.